Tensions escalate as the Iran war reaches new heights, with multiple nations involved in military actions. Additionally, severe weather wreaks havoc in the United States, causing extensive damage. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. A cargo plane has gone missing under mysterious circumstances, prompting a search and rescue operation. Authorities have launched an investigation to determine what happened to the aircraft, which was last tracked over a remote area. Initial reports suggest that adverse weather conditions may have played a role in the disappearance. The aviation community is on high alert as search teams comb through potential flight paths and areas of interest. The incident raises concerns about aviation safety, particularly in challenging weather conditions. As the investigation progresses, updates will be provided to the public to ensure transparency and accountability. All eyes will be on the search efforts as they unfold in the coming days. New video footage has emerged showing the moments leading up to a fatal shooting in Houston, raising further questions about the incident and the actions taken by law enforcement. The footage provides critical context, revealing a chaotic scene that escalated quickly and left witnesses in shock. Community leaders are demanding transparency and a thorough investigation into the shooting, emphasizing the need for accountability in police actions. This incident has reignited discussions about police conduct and accountability in urban areas, particularly in communities of color. As the investigation unfolds, residents remain on edge, awaiting answers that could reshape local policing policies and community trust. The outcome of this investigation could lead to significant reforms in training and oversight, highlighting the urgent need for change in law enforcement practices. The community is hopeful that justice will be served and meaningful dialogue will follow. The family of a Mississippi teenager who tragically lost his life in a shooting incident is demanding answers they believe are linked to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. This incident has ignited significant outrage within the community and raised urgent questions about the agency's practices. Newly released surveillance footage suggests a complex interaction that led to the fatal shooting, prompting advocates and local leaders to call for a comprehensive investigation. This case resonates deeply within the broader national conversation about immigration enforcement and civil rights, particularly regarding the treatment of vulnerable populations. Community members are rallying in support of the family, intensifying pressure on both local and federal authorities to provide transparency and accountability. As the investigation unfolds, the family and their supporters are hopeful that justice will be served and that this tragic event will catalyze much-needed reforms in ICE's operational protocols and policies. Iran's supreme leader has vowed to seek revenge for recent military strikes attributed to U.S. forces, a move that underscores the precarious state of U.S.-Iran relations. This statement follows a series of escalations, including Iran's involvement in attacks against U.S. interests and allies in the region, which have drawn sharp condemnation from Washington. The Iranian leadership's commitment to retaliation reflects a long-standing narrative of resistance against perceived Western aggression, which resonates deeply within Iran's political framework. Analysts are increasingly concerned that this cycle of threats and counter-threats could lead to direct military confrontations, further destabilizing the already volatile Middle East. The international community is acutely aware that any retaliatory actions by Iran might provoke a stronger response from the U.S., potentially leading to broader conflict. Experts emphasize the urgent need for sustained diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions. As both sides weigh their next moves, the potential for a renewed conflict looms large on the horizon, necessitating careful navigation of this dangerous geopolitical landscape. Missouri has declared a state of emergency following catastrophic flash floods that have impacted several communities. The heavy rainfall, which exceeded 3 inches in just a few hours, overwhelmed local drainage systems, leading to rapid flooding that caught many residents off guard. Areas such as St. Louis and Jefferson County have reported significant damage to homes and infrastructure. Emergency services are currently engaged in rescue operations, assisting those stranded by the rising waters and providing shelter to displaced families. This disaster has highlighted the vulnerabilities of infrastructure in the region, prompting calls for improved flood management strategies. Local government officials are assessing the damage and coordinating relief efforts, but the aftermath will require significant resources to restore normalcy. Residents are bracing for a long recovery process, as insurance claims and repairs could take months. As the state works to navigate this crisis, it is crucial for local leaders to prioritize preventive measures, such as enhancing drainage systems and implementing better urban planning to mitigate future flooding risks. In a significant diplomatic move, 14 nations, along with the European Union, have reaffirmed a 2016 ruling that invalidates China's expansive territorial claims in the South China Sea. This collective stand signals a united front against perceived aggression from China, which has been steadily expanding its influence and military presence in this strategically vital region. The ruling, originally issued by an international tribunal based in The Hague, has long been a point of contention, particularly for nations like the Philippines and Vietnam, who have faced increasing pressure from Chinese assertiveness. This renewed commitment to uphold the tribunal's decision demonstrates a serious dedication to enforcing international law and protecting maritime rights. The implications of this decision could lead to heightened tensions in the South China Sea, where Chinese military activities have raised alarms among neighboring countries and global stakeholders. Analysts suggest that this united stance may encourage other nations to adopt firmer positions against China's maritime actions. In the coming months, the international community will closely monitor how China responds and whether this will lead to a recalibration of regional power dynamics. Cuba is grappling with an escalating humanitarian crisis that has reached alarming levels, driven by both internal strife and external pressures. Reports indicate that the island nation is facing severe shortages of food, medicine, and essential services, leaving many citizens in desperate need. The Cuban government, already burdened by economic hardships intensified by international sanctions, is struggling to mount an effective response. This crisis has emerged in the aftermath of historic demonstrations against the regime, revealing a growing discontent among the population. Activists are urgently calling for humanitarian aid, highlighting the dire plight of ordinary Cubans who are suffering daily. Global reactions have varied, with some nations expressing solidarity with the Cuban people, while others remain cautious, weighing the complexities of intervention. The impact of this crisis extends beyond immediate suffering, potentially destabilizing the region and influencing U.S.-Cuba relations. As the situation unfolds, the coming weeks will be crucial for Cuba as it seeks to address the urgent needs of its citizens and restore stability. Severe microburst storms swept through Philadelphia, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. These storms, characterized by powerful winds exceeding 70 miles per hour and torrential rainfall, wreaked havoc on homes and infrastructure throughout the city. Reports indicate that fallen trees and debris have blocked numerous roads, complicating cleanup efforts for local authorities and emergency responders. Residents are now grappling with the aftermath, as many face extended power outages and significant property damage. This weather event highlights the increasing unpredictability of climate patterns, particularly in densely populated urban areas like Philadelphia, where infrastructure is often ill-equipped to handle such extreme conditions. The impact on community morale and local businesses could be profound, as recovery efforts may take weeks or even months. City officials are currently assessing the damage to determine the resources needed for a comprehensive recovery plan. As the region begins to heal from this natural disaster, experts are advocating for enhanced infrastructure and better emergency preparedness measures to withstand future severe weather events. With lessons learned, Philadelphia can work toward a more resilient future, ensuring safety for all its residents. As the conflict with Iran escalates, Israel is making significant military preparations for potential independent operations. Defense Minister Israel Katz has indicated that Israel is ready to take action if the situation deteriorates further. This announcement follows a series of joint operations with U.S. forces which have targeted Iranian installations and aim to curb Tehran's influence in the region. Analysts believe that Israel's readiness for unilateral strikes signifies a strategic shift, emphasizing its commitment to addressing perceived threats from Iran directly. Historically, Israel has been cautious in its military engagements, often relying on its partnerships with allies like the United States. However, this shift indicates a growing urgency in Israel's defense posture. The implications of such actions could destabilize an already volatile region further, with fears that any military action by Israel could provoke retaliation from Iran, potentially leading to a broader conflict. Regional allies, including Gulf states, are closely monitoring these developments, as they may affect their security considerations. The international community is urged to monitor these escalating tensions carefully, as the stakes are incredibly high. With tensions reaching a critical point, the coming days will be pivotal in shaping the future of the Iran-Israel conflict and regional stability. In a significant escalation of the ongoing Iran war, U.S., Bahraini, and Saudi jets have intercepted Iranian drones targeting military bases in Bahrain. This military engagement marks a worrying trend as tensions in the region continue to rise. Just last week, Iranian drones were reported to have launched attacks on commercial vessels in the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil shipments. The situation has now escalated to the point where low-altitude intercepts are becoming commonplace, indicating a shift in military strategy. Experts suggest that the increased military action could lead Iran to declare a full closure of its airspace, raising the stakes even higher. The potential for such a closure is alarming, as market analysts have increased the odds of it occurring by the end of the month. The implications of this conflict extend beyond military engagements. They impact global oil markets and regional security, potentially driving oil prices higher and disrupting supply chains. The U.S. military response is likely to intensify as Washington seeks to deter further Iranian aggression. In the coming days, we can anticipate further developments, especially as both sides prepare for what could be a prolonged confrontation that may reshape the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Thank you for watching. Which story shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.